May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. May all beings love life. May all beings awaken. Welcome to another Cuke Audio podcast. I'm DC Poobah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, doing our bit to help preserve the legacy of Joshu Sasaki and those whose paths cross his, and anything else that comes to mind. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable, free from economic hardship, and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of the universal precept of do as little harm as possible. So today we have a guest, Myphon Hunt, and I'm just going to read you the metadata I wrote for this podcast. In case you don't know what metadata is, it's, words and numbers that are attached to the audio file that, for instance, YouTube, Spotify, whatever, will print up. And some other stuff that isn't, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, this is. Myphon Hunt arrived at the San Francisco Zen Center in the early 70s after 5 years living at the farm in Tennessee founded by Steve Gaskin. She's now living at the Enso Village retirement community in Healdsburg, north of San Francisco, along with other senior Zennies, Vipassana Buddhists, and Quakers. Along the way, she spent time in Dharamsala and Tibet, studying with Joshu Sasaki's group in L.A. and New Mexico, as well as other pursuits. Hear about all that and more in this charming podcast, Visit with Myphon. Oh, one thing is she talks about Enso Village, where she lives, and it's the most complete description I've gotten yet of it, and she likes it very much. So, look, let's just give her a call after we've had our pause to meditate. So, when you hear the bell, if you're of such a mood, hit pause and meditate or whatever for as long as you wish. And when you're ready to end the meditation or whatever, hit unpause, and we'll be here to hit the bell to end the meditation or whatever. And we'll give Myphon Hunt a call.
Hello, David.
Myphon! How are you, Myphon?
Wow, I'm just really good. Yeah, I'm good. I have a lovely apartment. I live here in this place that feeds me, and
What place is that?
Enso
Well,
Village.
tell me about that.
Enso Village. Yeah, Susan, started it. Yeah, Susan O'Connell. And today we went to a dog party. Who has somebody who has rented here, has a house, a beautiful old house up the hill, up the way. And
Yeah.
they every once in a while have dog parties where all the dogs come over
Oh,
and run
that's
around.
so neat.
Oh,
That
it's
is
wonderful.
so neat.
Yeah.
Oh, anybody I know?
Oh, yes. Well, at the dog party, Susan O'Connell, but that's about it, probably.
Tell me about what's it like living at Enso?
Oh, they do. You go. They make your food. You don't have to grocery shop or prepare it. You just have to go down and get it, and they will deliver it, but they will charge you for it unless you're sick, and you get your television free. Um,
And I imagine free Wi-Fi.
that's what I mean. Yeah, free Wi-Fi. And
Is there a dining room?
oh, a beautiful dining room. Yes. And they will serve you, you sit down, you have napkins and
Ha!
waiters wait on you oh yeah.
Wow,
And
that's
you could take
great.
it home. There's
Yeah,
a beautiful zendo, which I'm looking down on now.
really, that's wonderful.
And
Wow.
the Vipassana people use it. They come after us in the morning usually.
Uh huh.
Um, and lots of very spry old people here.
Ha ha ha. That's good. That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
How big is it?
Oh, I guess there's probably about 10 buildings spread out.
Did you say 10?
Yeah, maybe one, two, three. Well, they're all kind of connected. I'm sorry, I don't know the number of units.
No, no, that doesn't matter. Just approximately. Just, I don't
Oh,
have
it's
any picture.
probably about 3 or 4 city blocks. I don't know, it's spread out.
Oh my
Um,
God.
there's a big plaza area in the middle.
Uh huh. Is there a swimming pool?
There's a swimming pool, ocean, salt water.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, how
Oh, it is.
excellent. Oh, that's really
Yes.
good. I really don't like chlorine.
No,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. And they're making a dog park, dog run. Yeah, dog park for us.
oh,
And
wow.
um, we have balconies. You can go out on your balcony.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That's great.
beautiful green rolling hills all around us.
And you can walk in them?
Yes, I go there every day with my dog.
Oh,
Um,
wonderful. All right. Now I want to ask you, how did you get in there?
oh, by hook and by crook. No, I guess because I've, been at Zen Center for, well, I don't know. I came there in 73, I think. And, but I've worked there for at least 20. I don't know how many I've worked
Is
there,
that
but
right?
you have to be over 70. It's a
Oh,
retirement home. And they have, when you're slightly wacky, they will they will take care of you. I mean, it's not a intense nursing facility or anything, but there's a place where you can be taken better care of. I can't think of them.
yeah. Well, I understand. There's like I used to visit delegates in a care home in Napa. I used to visit Betty Warren and
Oh,
Dick Moore from who was you know one of the like founding people of KQED who lived in Muir Beach. So he was sort of close
oh,
to Green Gulch, and they were at the
wow.
Redwoods in Mill Valley, and these
Yes.
places have levels of care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the Redwoods, which is a very nice place, has when I'd visit Betty, at some point I was visiting her, and she was wandering around trying to finish getting dressed, and she just couldn't figure it out. And so I went to the office, and there was a couple that were like in charge of her in a sense, who'd been neighbors, and she'd given them her home in Sausalito, and they'd been taking care of her, so to speak, for years, or making sure everything's all right. So
Yeah.
I told them to get them over there, and I thought she had to move to the next level,
Mm-hmm.
and she
Mm-hmm.
did.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't live much longer after that.
Mm-hmm.
which happens sometimes.
Yes.
But not to us.
Never.
Wow. Well, that's great. That's really good to
I
hear.
guess I should say that we're in cahoots with Kendall, the Quakers. So they have a group here too.
Right. And
Right.
what are they called?
Well, I think they're Quakers, but it's
No,
called
no, you
Kendall.
said something like kendo.
Kendall, Kendal. They have a retirement home back east, I guess, that's very successful. So, we've always appreciated them because they will go in and sit quietly, without speaking until somebody has something to say. So I remember, I think Baker Roshi saying something about them, and other people. So we've always kind of admired them for that.
Yeah, yeah. So in Nakagawa said, who was Dan Welsh's teacher in Japan, and did sessions in America and stuff. Eido's teacher in New York. And Nakagawa said he'd gone to Quaker meetings with Dan's parents and others. And he said their meditation reminds him of Rodin's The Thinker.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not to put down Quakers. That was just his experience. He could have had that experience at Zen Center, too. Okay, I want to know, where do you come from?
My family moved around a lot, but mostly the Midwest. And I lived up in Oregon, high school in Oregon. Lived in New Mexico. I love New Mexico. When I was at Zen Center, I left several times and went and studied with other teachers briefly. I went with Bill Kwong, Aiken Roshi, Sasaki Roshi. Maybe that's it. Oh, I forgot where I was going with that, but...
Oh, you just tell me where you lived. But
yeah.
That's interesting. I want to hear about them, but so you went to high school in Oregon. Like in terms of a way-seeking mind story, where did that all begin?
Oh, Well, I read Thomas Merton when I was in high school, and he talked about meditation. And I thought, I want to do that. So I went to another town. I was in high school. My senior year, I went and lived with the nuns. And I remember the senior teacher telling me, because I had asked her, if God is all good, where did evil come from? And so she wrote in my yearbook, I know you, Myphon. My family had moved to California by that time. I know you, Myphon. You're going to go to California and be a beatnik. She kind of had my number, I guess.
That's funny. What year were you born?
42.
42?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't realize. That's very interesting. What happened? Keep going.
Well, I did move to California, to a mid-valley town, and got married.
What town?
Yuba City.
Oh.
And got married, and we traveled around a bit, and then got divorced, and found my way to San Francisco. I wanted to go meet the hippies and the beatniks. And there I met I went to Zen Center. And no, first I went on I went with the hippies. Stephen Gaskin
Oh, yeah.
went on that caravan.
Oh, wow. That was
Yeah.
like, what year was that?
Ooh.
Was that 69, 70?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But anyway, then I was with him for about 5 years on the farm.
Oh, my gosh.
And
You're a
then
farm
I
girl.
went to California to visit my parents. And I had to go to San Francisco. They were still in Yuba City, and I had to go to San Francisco for my ride. And I thought, I'm going to go sit at Zen Center because Stephen had us sit every Sunday morning.
Mm.
And so I thought, I'm going to go sit at Zen Center. And I went afterwards up to the Buddha Hall, and I heard the Heart Sutra, and it blew me away. And I thought, I'm coming here. I'm going to move here. So that's what I did. Yeah,
what year was that?
That was 72 or 73, maybe. Yeah, so then, at Zen Center, I lived in all three places and mostly stayed out of trouble. And yeah, so then my final couple of years, my brother's wife, asked me to go to Tibet with her.
Oh.
So I said yes, and we went to Tibet and did a little tour around the major monasteries. And then a couple of years later, we wanted to go again. So we went to Dharamsala, and we were hearing some teachings by His Holiness. And I was sitting next to this monk from Australia. He was a Tibetan monk, Tibetan Buddhist monk, but he was from Australia. And he was looking for a rider to go with him and his friends to around Mount Sumeru, Mount Kailash. So I said, yes. And that was a trip. Oh, my heavens. Oh, that was just one of the most wonderful things I've ever done, but one of the hardest. It was really amazingly difficult and primitive. And we went in a Jeep, and on the way out, we had to, it was the rainy season coming on. We had to face our feet because we were going through a river. But yeah, Mount Kailash. It took us 2 days to go around it.
And how did you go around it in a vehicle or on foot?
Oh no, you circumambulate it by foot.
And you did that in 2 days?
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
Well, we camped out. We started out in the morning, camped out, and then got around the next afternoon back to where we started from. Yeah. An amazing place.
Well, that's an important pilgrimage for Tibetan Buddhists.
Yes, and the Hindus go around it in the opposite direction. And they really do it in style. They
All right, which direction did you go around it?
Well, like you always go to the right?
It's clockwise. You went around it clockwise.
Clockwise.
Right.
They go around.
That's what I remember.
Clockwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not from there, but with Tibetans. I was at the Karmapa's place where he was staying, about 15 kilometers from Dharamsala, and there was a big stupa there. And I started to walk around it to the right, and people went, no. Then, I realized, and after that, I always noticed it was clockwise. But you say the Hindus went counterclockwise. That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so yes, that was one of the best things I've ever done.
Hmm. So, that was what years was that?
Mm,
What year was that?
yeah.
You went twice.
Well, the last time, gee,
Approximately,
I was
mid
a little,
80s.
let's see, when did I leave Zen Center? Let's see, I left in, uh, my mind is really going. My memory
All
is
right,
going.
all right. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. You came to Zen Center in 72, 73. You were there a while, and then you went to Tibet. Do you have any idea how long you were there? 5 years, 10 years?
In Tibet?
No, in Zen Center before you went to
Oh,
Tibet.
oh, not really, David. I mean, I, I, I did a lot of other stuff before I went to Tibet. I mean, um, I went to those other Zen centers, which I really enjoyed going to them. They were
Yeah.
very
So
interesting.
you went to Sasaki's place down Cimarron Zen Center down in L.A.
Yes, and also I went to Santa Fe. He has a center there, or he had a
Yeah,
center.
Hemet Springs.
Hemis. Yeah, this wasn't in Hemis Springs. This was in Santa Fe. He had a little center.
Ah,
I don't know why I
ah,
didn't go to Hemis. I maybe
ah,
I applied and they didn't. I'm not,
ah.
or maybe I needed to work.
How was it with Sasaki's group?
Oh, it was pretty good. I really liked them. I really liked the folks.
Yeah,
And then when we went to uh, down south where he has a place after our 7 day sesshin, we all we climbed the local mountain in the moonlight and chanted the Heart Sutra, and then the next day we went out camping somewhere into a
are you
hot
talking about
springs.
New Mexico now?
No, no, down in near LA, um,
Yeah. Oh,
his
yeah.
place
He
up
had
in
a
the
mountain
mountains.
place, Mount
Hmm.
Baldy.
Mount Baldy, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
What about Sasaki?
Well, that is Sasaki Roshi.
No,
Oh, what about him?
yeah. Do you have anything to
Oh,
say about him?
oh, mm, you know, I liked him. I guess um he didn't come on to me or anything, but and I was only there for a practice period.
Yeah.
So
Um, did what did you do? You know, did you work on a koan with him? Because that's what he did with
yes,
people, right?
yes, yes. I can't even remember what the koan was. Something about a pine tree, but I can't remember it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He gave me. I just visited once, and I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden I'm in Sansen with him, right? And he says, "I give you koan. Who am I when I'm driving my car?" And so I would use that now and then through the decades. You
Oh,
know, I liked him. I saw him again too
where?
in Cimarron Zen Center
Oh, uh-huh.
in L.A.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I saw
Hmm.
him early on.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
first time was like 67, and the second time was 69.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I
so
liked him too.
yeah. And did you study with any other teacher?
Well, Bill Kwong, but I couldn't stay long there because I couldn't find a job. He kind of lives out in the country.
You couldn't find what?
A job.
Oh,
I had to support myself.
uh-huh.
So, but I really liked living there. He has a lovely little center there.
Yeah. Genjoji. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sonoma Mountain Road.
Yes. I I should go see him. It's probably not too far away.
Yeah, that's,
That's a
45 minutes or something
Yeah.
from where you are.
Yeah.
And you're in Healdsburg.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good
Um,
idea.
yeah. Let's see. What would you do? Would you take the Crane Canyon Road exit? I don't know. I can't. I used
I
to
have a
live.
great app, tells you
Oh
how to
yeah.
get there.
I used to live the next ridge over with John Tarrant, and I'd go
No
over to Bill.
kidding.
Yeah, I'd go to Bill's place sometimes, mainly for their ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't know it's Terrence Roshi, right?
I don't use that word.
Oh, uh-huh. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
but he
nobody
has a
says
center.
Tarrant Roshi. I mean, that's very
Y-
formal. They just
Oh,
call him
yeah.
John.
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe in some formal situations they will use the
Mm.
word Roshi, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then when I finally left Zen Center, my mother had probably she had Alzheimer's. She had some kind of dementia,
Yeah.
and was still could be a lot of fun and very
Oh,
witty.
that's good.
Yeah, and my sister lives in Yuba City. Mom lived up in Smartsville, and so she saw my sister all the time, and I'd go back once a month. But finally, her husband asked me to come and help him with her, and so he got me a little trailer for outside the house, and I was there about a month or two, and then she slipped and fell and went into a coma and passed away.
Oh,
So
oh,
yeah, and I was very close. I had wonderful parents, just wonderful parents, and I was
oh,
very
that's good.
very close to my mother, both me and my sister. Stephen Gaskin referred to us as a as a matriarchy. Um, so I lived in Yuba City and saw my sister uh, every day or every other day. She got me to uh, get a mandolin. And she and her husband was a very well-known musician in the area, and they were in a couple of bands anyway. So I kind of played a little music with them,
Oh, what'd you play?
a mandolin.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun, and I don't do it anymore, but I want to take it up now again because I really love. I mean, music is if you play music, it's really a lot better than hearing it in many ways. It's
If you play music, it's better than listening to it, you're saying.
yes, in many ways, yes. I think it's more interesting and
Yeah.
the patterns you can really appreciate. So, um, yeah, so I lived there about in Yuba City about 15 years. And then my long time um, well, he started out as a friend. I met him when he was 19. Um, and we started when I was at Zen Center, he he became an artist, and he worked in New Orleans on the Mardi Gras, and but
Oh
then
yeah.
he went to school and became an art teacher, and he taught at the I think the one of the art schools in San Francisco. I think I can't remember the name of it. And we
It,
started going out.
yeah, he didn't teach at the Art Institute, San Francisco Art Institute.
Art, yeah, I think that's it. He taught écorché, which is, you get the bone, you get the bones down, and then you add the muscles to it. So he taught that, and I saw a video of him teaching. He was really a good teacher. So he actually moved to Yuba City, and we couldn't get married, but it was like marriage, and it was wonderful. So I
Well,
had him for about 5 years, and then he passed away. He had
oh, what was his name?
David Wagner.
David Wagner.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes, he was so much fun and witty and kind of a very charismatic guy. Really, I was just really taken with him.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, yeah. So then, well, my sister got me to get a mandolin, and then she got me to get a dog. So I
So,
had,
yeah. So you got a mandolin now.
yes, uh-huh. I
Yeah.
also have a dog now, but another dog. That other one passed away. But that other dog and I lived right by the Yuba River. Um, and so we just crossed the street and we were on the levee. And I would ride my bike up and down on the levee with the dog, both sides, both directions, for, at least 12 years with that. No, that dog was 14, I think, when she died.
Wow.
And yeah, so I look back and I'm looking back now on my life, thanks to you. Yeah,
Huh.
I really enjoyed my life. It's not over yet, but
Well, that's good. I can see that. I mean, uh, you like when I think of you, I think you're a very benign person. You're not angry,
no,
and
no,
and you weren't overly ambitious or
no,
dissatisfied or anything. You were pretty content.
and quiet. I'm quiet.
Yeah, and you're quiet,
I
and
don't
you
talk
had
much.
no enemies. That
No,
yeah, no detractors. I would say enemy is a little too strong for Zen Center. Uh,
yeah,
there wasn't any, you know. I mean, some people are more controversial. You were not controversial.
I made a couple of people mad at me though, a
Uh
couple of
oh.
times.
Well, what'd you do? What'd you do?
Oh, I can't remember. I bawled somebody out because they didn't do what I told them to do.
Uh huh.
Can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Uh,
You forget
um,
those things.
well, you know, let me ask you. Uh, so you were at Genjoji and you enjoyed it, but you couldn't say because it's hard to get a job in that area.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, mm, yeah.
Also, I always went back to Zen Center because, I really liked Zen Center. I mean, you know, it has a lot going for it.
yeah. Yeah, it does. It
A lot of
does.
teachers, classes, and 3 different locations.
Right. Right. And um, thanks to I think some of the key people who helped establish it as an institution that would survive, and one of them being Susan O'Connell. I mean, It's true of a lot,
Yeah.
and Ed Sadison, Richard Baker, that
Mm-hmm.
was his, in really establishing, three centers there. He didn't have anything to do with Page Street, but founding it. But what he was always obsessed with was making it an institution that would survive and
Mm-hmm.
continue, and the Dharma would continue with it.
Yeah.
So it more than just, there's some key people like that, Ed Sadison, but it really took the whole army of us,
Mm-hmm.
and and having so many, like you say, having the three centers, so many opportunities. It
They
is
they
really,
could give you a job,
yeah, yeah, uh,
pay you.
yes,
Not
yes,
much.
that's true. Now, so you when did you leave Zen Center?
Oh, you mean like for the last time?
Yeah, I mean, you said you kept going back, but you came in 72 or 73, and what was your relationship with Richard Baker like?
Well, I was just I think he's really a good teacher. And he's brilliant.
Yeah,
Um, and he gives good lectures, and um, I liked him. I liked him. I, I yeah.
hmm hmm um, and what did you do? What sort of jobs did you have? Because you were there 20 years. You had to work, not just be there, you had to work for Zen Center for 20 years to
Hmm.
qualify to be at Enso.
Yeah,
For them to
right.
pay, not to qualify to be at Enso,
Yeah, yeah.
to have it on scholarship,
Hmm.
perpetual scholarship. Uh,
Hmm.
what did you do?
Well, I was office manager twice
In the city center.
in the city center. I was work leader in the city center. That was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
got to pick up people, all these famous people, Gary Snyder, and oh, I can't remember all the different people. And I got to drive Okusan around,
Mm. Mm, that's neat.
and yeah, and I worked on the farm in Green Gulch, in the fields.
Uh huh.
Um, I worked in the kitchen, just a local, just a worker. Um,
At, what'd you do at Tassajara? How long were you at Tassajara?
oh, I was at Tasahara.
Uh huh.
Well, I was the first time I think I went there 2 years, and then I went back a couple of times. Uh, um, for a practice period.
Yeah.
And then I should not fail to mention that um, once I once I had left Zen Center, and then I wanted to come back. I I was at um, I had moved to Grass Valley and was a nurse. Robert Lytle got me to go to college with him to become a nurse. So I did that.
Hmm. Who
And
got you? Who got you to go?
Robert Lytle,
Oh yeah, wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful. I loved
yes.
him. I loved
Oh,
him.
me too, me too.
Oh
Yeah, I wish he were still around.
yeah, yeah.
And
Hmm.
another person I wish was still around is I can't think of his name now. He just
Would
recently passed away.
you mean Jordan?
No, no, he was going to move here and he just did not want to, so he killed himself.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Yeah,
Jeffrey Snyder. He didn't
Jeffrey
want to
Snyder.
move to Enso.
Well, no, but Susan talked him into it, and he seemed to be happy with it. But well, who knows exactly
Yeah,
why he did it? But
yeah.
that's what I think. That's what.
Well, Jeffrey, the way I described you, he was the opposite. Things were difficult for him.
Hmm.
You know,
I remember that.
He, yeah. But he did a wonderful job.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought with he, he had a hard time in life. I don't know,
Hmm.
and but he really applied himself well, and he was he really worked for the benefit of others.
He certainly did. He certainly did.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to seeing him again. He was, yeah, I was looking forward to seeing him here. But
Mm.
anyway, where I was going with that was that after I decided I wanted to come back from Grass Valley, being a nurse, I wanted to come back. And um, Reb kind of gave me a hard time, and I guess I gave him a hard time too, because I brought up the incident that probably still bothers him today. I don't know.
You
Um,
brought up Reb's problem with having the
Chasing,
gun and
yeah,
chasing the guy who robbed him,
yeah, yeah,
and having gotten the gun off a dead body in Goldgate Park that he was returning to and meditating with, was like hidden in some bushes. And when he got arrested for chasing that guy who robbed him, all this came out and shocked people.
yeah,
I said, I was on the board then. I said, well, he's a prize fighter, and he's competitive, and somebody robbed him and he chased him.
yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and
I understand that. I mean,
that
the reasoning behind it. But
sitting with
yeah.
the dead body and not reporting it, that was a little weird, but um,
Oh, I can see that doesn't seem weird to
yeah,
me, but yeah. But I had not really resolved that in my mind, so I had asked him about it. And of course, this was much later, and he didn't want to talk about that again. That's in
yeah,
the past.
yeah,
So he said I should find another teacher. So Norman was conveniently there.
yeah.
And so Norman, I he asked me to be his right then and there. He asked me to be his Shuso. And I just, oh, Norman is, well, you know how wonderful Norman is. I mean,
Yeah.
he's certainly, a lot of other people think so too, he gives good lectures. So I studied with Norman for a long time, and then got, what's it called in Japanese, where you get a brown robe. Anyway, I got a brown robe with
Oh,
Arlene.
really? Oh,
Do you
you
know
got,
Arlene?
huh? Well, you got, what do they call it? Shike or, I forget. You
Yeah,
got transmission.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And then
I didn't know that.
uh,
So you were ordained as a priest.
Reb ordained me as a priest. Yeah,
Oh, but then when you came back, you
he wouldn't let me wear my brown robe. Um,
wait. When you came
I
back,
mean,
that's before your
I don't
brown robe.
mean. I'm sorry. He wouldn't let me wear my robe, my black robe.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
He would mad at you.
Yeah. Well, I guess because I left Zen Center.
Yeah, well, he has
I,
standards. He has very high
yeah.
standards, and
Yeah. Right.
uh, so you just went to Norman, and he took care of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Uh,
Norman asked me to, Philip, was at Laguna Honda and needed
yeah.
someone to sit with him. So that was another wonderful thing I did in my life,
Oh,
which I could, I'd ride my bike up there every day, sit with Philip. We would read. Sometimes Lou Hartman would come and we
hmm.
would take turns reading to him. I'd give him foot massages. I'd go down and get noodles for him in the little restaurant down the hill. Uh, and, all these wonderful people came to see him, all of his old friends.
I
It
went to
was a
see him. I
it was
was,
a good gig.
yeah, yeah. He was great. Philip Whalen, right?
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Did you run into Del Carlson any there?
No, no. I
Yeah.
mean, I saw him at Tassajara, but I don't remember him coming there then.
Well, Dell got more associated with Hartford Street, but he'd go stay with Philip. So
Hmm.
with Esau, he was close with Esau.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, hmm. Yeah, I guess Dell had some involvement with the hospice there, but you spent time with Philip. Well, that's wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. It really was.
Hmm. So, um, what else do you have to offer? That's quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really making me remember all this stuff.
Yeah, remember a way. I like to hear it.
Yeah. Well, I oh, can't say that I can think of anything else.
Well, um, uh, so what do you think? Or let me ask you some other questions. What do you think about there's a lot of where identity has become very important to a lot of people. There are particular type of the gender and sexual identity, and that's become the whole woke thing has been embraced by the Zen Center, and what do you think about all that?
Oh, oh. Well, I think it's probably a good thing. I go along with that. I go along with woke,
Yeah, yeah,
awake.
yeah. So you don't have any. It hasn't really mattered much to you. I mean,
No.
it seems good. Yeah. Well, what do you think about climate change?
Oh, that's just really, really sad, isn't it? It's really scary. And I'm so afraid Trump is going to become president. I just, it just scares me to death.
Um,
It's like, wow.
well, if no matter who becomes president, nothing significant enough is being done for climate change. Of course, it
Yeah.
would be better if Biden were, but all the good things we're doing all over the world isn't really slowing it down much. I don't think. Last year was the largest single jump in greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide, which is the one that lasts in the atmosphere.
Mm,
And although
yeah.
the also there was a big jump in alternative energy reached 30% of the total in the world. But
wow.
At some point, who won the 2024 election is going to be irrelevant if we don't do something about climate change.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you what you thought, but I couldn't resist.
Yes, well, it's really sad and it's really scary.
Yeah.
And it seems like the ones who are going to suffer the most, they didn't cause it, as
right.
much as the richer countries.
Right. Well, but people will. My observation is that people will vote for their. If they'll vote for their short-term interest, just like oil companies do. However, I was just talking with a guy. Did you ever know a guy named Jesse Chu?
No.
At Zen Center. All right, he was around for about 7 years, and he's living around the corner now from here where I live in Bali. And
wow.
He was just reading a book that said that we think that people are, say, racist, for instance, because they're ignorant. And it said, actually, and therefore they elect, people who play into their racism. But this book, he says it's the other way around. It's that, demagogues come along and stir up racism in people, start saying, you can't trust these people are different, or, Trump was just saying there's all these mentally ill and rapists. He's still going, killers coming into America and all that. I wonder if the masses would actually make decisions that would back democratically decisions that really
prospered them,
that really drastically reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that are going into the atmosphere. Maybe if we didn't have, people at the top, or people running for office, or people who are controlling information, casting doubt on ideas like that there's climate change. Maybe they would. In some, like in Europe, some European countries, they seem willing to make wise decisions as a group. But I wonder.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But I wish us all good luck with that. And, then there's the threat of nuclear war, which is also, but how do you see that?
Yeah. Oh, it's, I guess I try not to think about it in my daily life. I don't try. I just don't think about it. But if I do, it's just, it's frightening.
Yeah. Well, pardon me for bringing that up. I like to bring those things
stir things up.
Because to me, the greatest threat to Buddhism is climate change and nuclear war. To having the greatest threat to us being able to have zendos and meditate and you know, you've got to have an environment that is livable. It can't be one that's so awful that it's taking up all your time just to survive. Right now in
Yes.
India, I was just reading. There's the death rate is rising in areas where it's 120 during the day and 90 at night.
Oh my God.
You know, I guess it's a little warmer here, but it hadn't been that affected.
I would love to know how you ended up in Bali. You should write an autobiography or something, David.
Well, yeah, my beloved wife Katrinka thinks I ought to. I'm working on a book called Tassara Stories, and I'm pretty close to finishing it. And it's big, it's long.
Oh, wow.
And it's got a lot more than Tassara in it, but I don't know what will become of it. It's too big, but she wants me to do something on living in Bali. I've posted a lot about living here. I haven't in the last couple of years, not so much.
On Facebook?
No,
where?
no. Well, yeah, a little on Facebook, but no,
Where have you
on a
posted?
blog. On a blog.
Oh.
The Cute Nonsense blog. I posted tons.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
It's all still there.
Uh-huh.
It's under Saunters. It's the Saunters label on the blog. But yeah, I could do that. There's another book that I've got almost ready that I worked on years ago. I've got some other things that I've written in the past. I think I might try to put together into a book. But I got to get this Tassara Stories finished. But
Well, you have certainly added to Zen Center's, what would you call it? You're certainly there in the mix in a big way.
yeah.
And you've really done a lot for everybody, really.
I did it all for you, Myphon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I always enjoy getting my daily little note from you.
Oh, well, yeah, we have Instagram and the Cuke, daily posts on the blog.
I don't do Instagram, but...
Well, it's the same one, and it goes to Facebook too, Cuke Archives.
Okay,
it's the same post, goes all three places.
Okay, yeah.
It starts off at Instagram now, but my posts, like today, I reposted something Zen Center did that lectures that Jiryu and Mel worked on will be coming out as a book. Suzuki Roshi lectures will be coming out next year as a book.
What's the name of it?
Oh, God. Well, I have to go to my post.
I think I saw something about that.
Here it is. I'm a new Suzuki Roshi book. This is Zen Center's post. Becoming Yourself.
Yeah, I saw that.
The day before yesterday, I posted that Alan Hozan Sanaka is giving a Dharma lecture.
Yes.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago we didn't know if he was going to live.
Mm-hmm.
That's been quite a...
what a shock.
Yeah, quite a story there. It's been wonderful following his caring page and him getting better. It's difficult, but getting better than than
Mm.
thought possible. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Saturday. That's today. No, well, that's
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow for you.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10:15 a.m. Berkeley Zen Center. It'll be on the. People will be able to go back and listen to it later and go to the Berkeley Zen Center site.
Yeah, I have it
figure
on
that-
my calendar.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, very good, Myphon.
Yeah, so, yeah. Well,
Um,
thank you, David.
yeah, thank you. It's really good talking with you, and I learned a lot. You know,
Well, it was fun going
I-
through it. Helps me remember some of it.
yeah, I didn't know a lot of it. I really appreciated your picture you gave me of Enso and of your life. You're very humble Buddhistically. I'd say, well, in every way, actually.
Yeah.
But you don't stink as Zen. I'll sure say that.
No.
You know.
No, I don't. I probably should maybe apply some. I've never just. Well, I shouldn't say I've never have been ambitious about I guess I am in a way, but lately, I mean, now in my old age, if I can just get to the Zendo in the morning, I figure I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That to me, the morning, I walk first, and then I just get 1,000 steps in, and then I sit, and I pretty much, there's things I really want to get done and everything, but I really like to do that first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I have some hot water, and then I walk, and then I sit. I really
That's good.
like that.
Very good.
Yeah. It's really surprising to me, or I've been pleasantly pleased to see how many of us still have some sort of practice. It's not.
Yes.
You and I both sit. Not everybody does that. They do something. Everybody does something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've all been, most of us, not all, but a very high percentage, feel really grateful, blessed to have been through the San Francisco Zen Center.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 It was a wonderful life for me. I just, I really, many prostrations.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Myphon. Great to talk with you.
Thank you. Thank you, David. It's good to talk to you too.
All right. Well, you take care.
Hugs. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye.
So thanks most kindly, Myphon. Really enjoyed that. Good for you. Good for you. This has been a Cuke Audio podcast. I'm DC Poobah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from Sleepy Sanur with Dogget Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear, lovely Katrinka. And we're wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.